What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Second Avenue Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Linares.
I'm your other host, Elijah Valencia. It feels weird saying that again. We haven't recorded in forever. Rolling Loud, we had to record early before I left. So we recorded earlier than we typically did or do. And then, the week following, I lost my voice. So we were unable to record. So we've been off for a minute.
Yeah, this is the longest we've ever gone without recording. I mean, it's almost 17 days or something, it feels like, I think, if I had to guess, because it was 2 full weeks plus the half week. So yeah, it's been a minute.
But we never stop working though. I mean, that's the thing. We've been at this, even though we haven't been recording, releasing shit for you guys. We've been at work. So
we've been plotting. We've been getting content. Everything now is a business trip. It's all about the content, baby. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, we got some good stuff to get into. A lot of stuff, a lot of shows we've seen over the past couple of weeks. So it's gonna be a good one today. But I mean, we gotta just touch on a couple of things before we get into that. Fantasy football. We said we're gonna give a little update every week. How's your team looking so far this week? How'd you do the past couple of weeks? Where are you sitting at?
I'm at 3-1. I'm first place, and I'm in a league that's $100 buy-in, so like a $1,000 league there. And then I'm 3-1. I'm probably gonna lose this week. So
happens.
But everything's been going well so far with that one. I'm trying to, although I'm first in the league, but I drafted Kyle Pitts and Najee Harris. So
that's wild. Kyle Pitts, I was kind of relieved when I saw he was injured today. I was like, all right, at least like I don't have to worry about him probably getting 2 points again. But yeah. I'm gonna play him. I'm gonna play him, obviously. Every time.
I mean, him and Najee are both like, you can't start him because then they'll just pop off. So yeah, he was. I benched Najee this week, so we'll see what happens. But I mean, in the other league, I'm 2-2. I have a lot of points scored so far, looking good so far. So we'll see what happens in the league that we are in. So
yeah, I'm 2-2 in each of my leagues. I'm in 3 leagues. I think I'm gonna lose all of them this week. So not looking great. In 2 leagues, I picked Jonathan Taylor, and he's just not been doing it for me. So kind of sucks, but I still got some boys out there that are doing their thing. So we'll see how it ends up. But one thing I'm already regretting this week, I sat Gabe Davis. He's been okay. He's been good. He had some good games, had some whatever games. But last time I looked, he had like 30 points, and it was like the second or third quarter. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah, my thing with him is like I feel like I can't stand an inconsistent fantasy player. I'd rather have someone that's putting up 12 a week versus Gabe Davis popped off week 1, he's popping off now. So
yeah, I kind of like the inconsistency because when they pop off, they do pop off. My one guy that I used to always go in on, he was either going to get me 2 points or 0 points, or he was to get me like 26. That was Ted Ginn Jr. Back when he was on the Saints. He was either getting like a 60-yard touchdown or he wasn't going to catch a ball. And I liked going big on him because he came through for me a lot. You had Drew Brees at quarterback. He was always going to drop some dimes. I feel like all those years, the Saints and Panthers always had some fire games where they were like, it was Cam Newton on the Panthers just going crazy, and the scores were always like in the 40s and high 30s. Mm-hmm. So I knew Ted Ginn, he was going to get a touchdown, and they played a couple times. So I always love those matchups.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like boomer bust players, that's not a winning formula. So I could see both sides, I guess, though.
Yeah, I don't think it's like, I don't know. I don't like.
I feel like that's just. I feel like that's just the level to this. So like I'm here to win championships. You're here to win weeks.
Ooh, okay. Now you could say what you want. I know we haven't really played too many leagues, but I've probably been playing since I was probably a junior in high school, maybe, and I think I've got 3 or 4 rings since then in my friend group, my hometown friends league. So like I do all right, especially for somebody that like growing up wasn't like huge in football. Like I catch the Bears games here and there. I catch the Super Bowls. I wasn't going crazy. I drafted Antonio Brown with the 1-1 pick that year. Never heard the guy's name before. You see where he's at today, but he had some years where
that's a legend. That's a living
he went
legend.
crazy for me. So yeah, I'll go off the numbers. It's worked out in my favor. So
definitely
do what I got to do.
I was just giving you a little jab there, just letting you know I'm winning this league.
I respect that, but you got to put some respect on my name because my track record speaks for itself. Somebody else that some respect is going to be put on his name now. Draymond Green. We'll stick on the sports talk for a little bit. I feel like a lot of people were talking, there's a lot of talk about, like the old heads are talking, today's players are soft. They're not actually fighting and stuff like that. Draymond's a fake tough guy, You can't say that anymore. Draymond
Yeah,
is about that life now. Punching Jordan Poole, the video leaks. What were your thoughts on this whole situation? Because it's pretty wild.
it's wild. I mean, I don't know. Jordan Poole, he pushed him and he just didn't defend himself at all. Like he was not ready. I feel like if you push someone, that you got to be prepared for some retaliation. And I mean,
I would think a push. I would think another push. I think it would. Jordan pushes Draymond, and then Draymond pushes back. But he went from push to straight.
Yeah,
Mean right. He hit him with a mean right. And Jordan Poole was like probably in my top 10 favorite players in the NBA right now. I love Jordan Poole. I've loved him since he was at Michigan. So it's tough to see my boy take a jab like that.
Yeah, I mean, Draymond's he's got a temper, I'm curious to see how this is going to play out in the long term. Like, because he's not going to be in Golden State forever. I mean, he's had past issues with KD. I think at this point they'd rather stick with Jordan Poole as well.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I saw some people saying, "Oh, it's going to be like a James Harden situation where Jordan Poole goes from a sixth man in OKC, Golden State, and then he goes somewhere else and just blossoms into like a star." And I was like, I think you get rid of Draymond situation. Like, obviously, Draymond's got a big impact on the floor, on defense, on leadership. But I mean, Jordan Poole is the future. You got to go with him. Seeing some of the things on Twitter were pretty funny, though. Ballsack Sports always going to have some wild, out of pocket statements that people are going to just eat up. They had the thing talking about what Jordan Poole said to Draymond to make it happen, which was a lie, but it has like 80,000 retweets on Twitter or 80,000 likes now. And it's like, why is he money green if he's going to be broken in Sacramento next year? And then he was talking about Jordan Poole was saying something about, the girls at Michigan State, did they like triple singles or was it the screen setting? And that was pretty funny. I wish it was true. It's definitely not. But I do want to know what was said. I heard it was like he was calling some fouls or something and he didn't like it. He called him a bitch or something like that.
Yeah.
Something pretty light. So it was kind of wild that it went to that extreme measure, but I kind of respect it.
I loved the meme that I was Jordan Poole said something about LeBron.
I mean, that could, depending on the day, I think that could get them fired up. But they also got the last laugh in many of those situations with LeBron. But yeah, it's just all pretty funny.
Recently, especially in this past year, Draymond has been a huge LeBron meat writer.
Oh, he definitely has. But like,
so they said Jordan Poole said something bad about LeBron, like a meme like that.
Yeah, that's possible. I don't know, but it's all funny.
Yeah, no, that I think Ballsack Sports, shout out them. I think they were the one that reported that.
They're always going crazy. Speaking on LeBron, though, have you seen the new Redeem Team documentary that just dropped on Netflix?
I have not. I need to watch it.
Today's
not the day. NFL Sunday is not the day, but I'm gonna get around to that. Obviously, Darren Williams. That was like one of the things in the trailer. Darren Williams was he's a legend around here. Obviously, with going to the U of I, so it would be nice to see my boy up there, and then the GOAT LeBron, of course.
Oh yeah, it was fire to see him. It was a really good documentary. I really enjoyed it. I was obviously pretty young. You were even younger, like when this stuff was happening. Like, I don't remember the Greece Olympics where they got the bronze.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember that at all. I've only known USA basketball to just
blow
people out. Yeah. So it's kind of crazy to look back on like the years where that wasn't happening, where the team just wasn't performing. My favorite thing in the whole documentary, arguably, was they put a headline up in a newspaper and it was when they won the bronze, it said LeBron's. And that was great. I love that. That was super funny.
That's ahead of its time.
It really is.
Yeah,
it really is. Like, that would have been on Twitter. That would have had 100,000 retweets today. But no, it was just on the newspaper. Who knows that it even got the love that it deserved, but it was great. But yeah, there were so many great scenes in that. Seeing some of these older players that like I just forgot about that weren't even from the US or from like different countries. Carlos Arroyo, Rudy Fernandez. Rudy Fernandez popped off for Spain in the 2008 gold medal game. Like, and then I kind of looked a little bit into his career because I remember him on the Trailblazers, but I didn't remember like what year that was. And so I think if what I saw was right, he popped off and then he got on the Trailblazers. So hey, you perform on that stage against some hoopers, and who knows what happened.
I mean, with the rules being different and everything, you get some players popping off like that. Like who is just? I'm trying to think of someone from a different country that is. Oh, Patty Mills. Patty Mills goes nuts every time for Australia. And I don't. My favorite thing about it all now is like they're all saying the world's catching up in basketball, but we still send our like all NBA third team or just just they don't. It's not the same as it was with the Redeem team. Like the players are sending over, so and we still dominate. So USA.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty different. Like there were obviously some players that weren't huge stars in that team, like Michael Redd. I love Michael Redd. Though, so seeing him on that team, I was like, all right. So I looked up like his minutes. I don't think he played in the gold medal game, but I was like, all right, he was on the team. He got a medal. That's all that matters. But then I looked at this year's team because I was like, I don't even remember the Olympics. Like I didn't watch much of it. If I did, I was like, we're gonna win, like whatever. And like Keldon Johnson was on the team, and I was like, good for him. I guess
I love Keldon Johnson.
No, I like him too, but like
he just put up 21 a game. Like he's
he is a hooper, but I don't know. I just for whatever reason would not have expected him to be on the USA team. But hey,
yeah, that's that Popovich influence, the
that
ties there. So
that is true. Seeing Coach K coach though was pretty great. Like I'm obviously not a Duke fan. Shout out to producer Devin, but got some respect for Coach K. He is a legend. He got those guys motivated. He got that Army background. He was doing his thing. I feel like how comparing playing for USA basketball to serving your country in the Army, there were some parallels, I guess, but like it was pretty wild. Like, like people come in that were from wars. It was wild. So you definitely got to check it out.
Super underrated aspect there of like getting all these guys to gel properly. So I mean, I'm excited to watch it though.
Yeah, you got to. Well, then we'll touch on it a little bit more after you do watch it. But I think that's enough. We've talked about sports this whole time so far. Let's get to the music. Been a big past couple of weeks for us. Rolling Loud in New York. I saw Pusha T and IDK in St. Louis. Then we went to Lyrical Lemonade 9th anniversary together. Let's start with Rolling Loud, though. Tell us about your time at Rolling Loud. How was it? Who were some of your favorite people you saw? Favorite moments?
So I have like mixed emotions about it. Like obviously the first day, Nicki Minaj showed up 45 minutes. Like the headliners are really just a bummer. So I mean that kind of sucked. But I mean, like, what can you do? Other than that, like Uzi was really solid the first day. I remember that I've seen Uzi 3 times. This was the third time I saw him, and by far this is the best time. Who else? First day, Nardo Wick was nuts. Lil TJ was very good as well. And then day 2 this is kind of like what redeemed it all for me. The day 2 was all right. Start off like St. John, guys like that. Let me go to my notes and see exactly who I saw.
I gotta say, I was talking to Mauricio about Rolling Loud. He said St. John was like his favorite person he saw.
He was pretty good live. I don't listen to him too much, but he's solid. He was really good live though. So.
Yeah, I don't know much of his music, but I'll take your guys' word for it.
And then Don Toliver and Baby were also that day. But like the craziest thing was, I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw the clip. ASAP Rocky. So I was in the main stage, like I was in the trenches, but then I just decided to come out, there. I'm not feeling it. I'll watch him from a distance. And then so the craziest shit with that was like ASAP comes out like right next to where I'm at. So I like lucked out with that. That was just an insane moment. In New York, it was just going crazy. He had a really good performance too. Like he was performing more unreleased stuff, which whatever. He was probably gonna get into some classics, but they cut his set short he showed up a little bit late as well, but that was just the theme there. And then day three was kind of rough because Ski Mask was supposed to perform, didn't make it. 21 Savage didn't make it. Benny the Butcher and Pusha T, the crowds were just so chill for them. So that was like the biggest W was watching those two. Pusha T was insane. We'll talk about it a little more because obviously, and then Future, while Future was going, it was just this fucking downpour. Like J. Cole level, probably a step further than that. And the mosh pits it was really enjoyable, but they did have to close the festival early. So that was kind of an L there.
Yeah, the rain's definitely tough, but like at least he had some time to get through a lot of his big hits.
Yeah, so a good thing that he was doing, he was just going like playing like a minute of a song, which that and he brought out Offset. That was pretty cool as well. I haven't seen any of the Migos, so um, but I mean overall, I don't know if I'd rank it ahead of last year. I think Miami was definitely one for me for Rolling Louds, and then I don't know, it's pretty close. I don't know. I just feel like the J. Cole and Travis Scott last year were they was just so good last year with that. But I mean, at the same time, ASAP Rocky was he was really good. And then obviously, him coming out kind of saved the day there.
Yeah, I gotta see Rocky before it's all said and done. I feel like he's got so much going on. Like he does his music, obviously, but he's in a Need for Speed video game or something. He's obviously gonna have a kid. He's got fashion stuff. Who knows how much more music ASAP Rocky's gonna be doing? How many more tours he's gonna be on? So I think I do need to see ASAP Rocky next time he's around because he's somebody I've been listening to since I was like a freshman in high school, which is crazy to think about. But ever since, Live Love ASAP, Long Live ASAP, I've been riding with Rocky. So I definitely got to see him. I'm very jealous that you got to experience that moment. The one thing I will say, I never know how to feel like when artists do unreleased songs because it's like nobody knows them, but like you're still like experiencing a moment. So it's tough.
Yeah, I don't know. He still brought in the crowd really well. I feel like there's different ways you can do it. Like if you're not vibing with the crowd with it or anything, it's kind of an L. So, but I mean, he interacted well. He did jump into the crowd like 5 feet away from me, so that was just insane.
I would not take ASAP Rocky in 2022 to be the type to jump in the crowd. Like early ASAP Rocky, about like, oh yeah, he definitely probably does that, and I wouldn't have batted an eye. But now ASAP Rocky, he's like what? He's in his 30s, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Just jumping in the crowd. I respect it, but he's putting on a
I
show.
think Cardi also jumped into the crowd, and I think they both got humbled. They realized
Yeah,
shit ain't sweet.
yeah. Apparently, people were grabbing ASAP Rocky's balls, which is very out of pocket. Cardi had a moment. Those both went super viral. So yeah, you got to witness that ASAP Rocky meme that became Tyler the Creator's profile picture from like 5 feet away. So
Yeah,
that's pretty wild.
yeah. I mean, overall though, I mean, good time. Of course, Rolling Loud always puts on a show. So, I mean, still a W regardless.
I guess the question we have to leave it at now is: are you going to be back to the next Rolling Loud?
Miami 23 is most likely happening.
I respect it. I respect the grind. Who knows? Maybe I'll make the trip out there with you too.
Yeah, I mean, we're gathering up a group, so we'll see what happens. Second Avenue boys could be popping out in the 305. So
That'd be pretty wild. Never been to Florida, so it'd be an experience for sure. Never been to a
you're gonna come back a jet.
festival. Yeah, I guess so. But we'll see. All right. I'll move on a little bit. We can talk Pusha T. You saw him as well too, so we can get on that. But I'll just talk a little about my experience at the concert first. Then we can talk about how his performance was. Got to go see Pusha T with IDK as the opener. Great show. Obviously saw IDK in Boston when we were at Harvard last year. Killed it that time, killed it this time. Obviously kind of difficult to be the opener. He got added like somewhat late. People were there to see Pusha T, but hey, he did his thing. Had some really good displays on the screen, good crowd participation, good energy. Obviously, he's gonna do his thing with the music. Pusha T. I did not know what to expect going into seeing Pusha. I love his music. I didn't know what to expect from like an energy standpoint from the crowd. I will say I got to the show like 40 minutes early with my friend Levi, and there were like less than 10 people there waiting, which is like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen that few people in line for his show. I'm one that I'm gonna grind for a spot at shows if I have to. Like when I saw Tyler the Creator at that same place in St. Louis, I got there at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and waited in line. And so to get there so much closer to the show and at the same place, it just felt so weird that there was like nobody there. Um, but yeah, there was only like 3 people standing in the line too, and everybody else was just hanging out, getting drinks, doing whatever. It was definitely an older crowd, which I kind of appreciated. Like it wasn't too
Yeah, like
crazy. Uh, at the venue, there's like a main pit area, and then it goes up a little bit with another level around it, and then like a third level. And so our like favorite spot in the house at that place is to go in the second level, first spot right there on the end, closest to the stage. You were like 5 feet away from the performer, if not closer at times. And you have a perfect view. You're not really getting pushed around. There's a little like ledge in front of you, you can chill on. Oh, it's perfect. That's where we saw Baby Keem. Elijah was in the
Yeah.
trenches for that one though. I unfortunately had to cool it up there, but it was, I think everybody got what they wanted at that show. But yeah, Pusha T went crazy. The energy was great. I did not know what to expect, but the crowd was just loving it. The crowd was going crazy. People were going verse for verse with Push, line for line with Push. A guy like one person away from me and Pusha were going bar for bar on like the second song of the night, and then Push saluted him, and I was like, oh, that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I feel like there's a lot of pressure. I was talking about Uncle Ray about this. There's a lot of pressure when you're in like the front row. You have to
Yeah.
know some words. I do. I definitely know some Pusha T lyrics. But this guy, when I see people like that, I am like, oh my God, I am not at that level. Uh, but when he was on Daytona, I will say I could go bar for bar on
Yeah.
Daytona. But when we got on It's Almost Dry, I got lines here, lines there. But we're talking whole verses. Ooh,
I
that was not
was
happening.
I was a seasoned vet for It's Almost Dry, like I felt like that album, like it popped right back up. Like, I listened to it when it came out, but it started really like hitting at the perfect time, where I could get all that down for New York. And, like you said, Pusha T's like, he has such a good stage presence. Like he's, in the crowd going verse to verse with people, saluting people. I mean, it was just like, he's a very good live performer.
Yeah, I will say Pusha T had a couple of like my favorite moments at shows I've been to. And I did say this, and I'll stand by this. It was definitely, I said it right after the show. And so, like obviously there's some like recency bias there, but I've had over a week to sit on it. And I will say officially Pusha T is the best rapper I've seen live. I will say I think it was Lupe Fiasco, and then now it's Pusha T. They're both crazy though. My favorite moment for the Pusha T show was when he came out. His entrance was crazy. So his DJ come out to get the crowd warmed up, whatever, like many shows do. He only played 2 songs, and then he just brought Pusha T out. And I was like, oh damn! Like a lot of times they play for like 15 minutes or whatever. So it was crazy, and I was super shocked. But they had like the big screens, and they had like a kind of distorted Pusha T face going crazy, hitting the Joker laugh. Oh, it was
That
so
yeah,
cold.
that was always they were hitting that key throughout the whole show we talked about, and it was a W. I don't know, like the coolest moment for me was, so he just kept saying, the DJ and him just would keep saying rap album of the year, kind of what they're going with. It's Almost Dry as, and I had bought my merch that day, so I was in the crowd holding it up, holding the shirt up, and me and Push are just making eye contact. That was like the coolest part for me. I think it was I think it was Brambleton, where they were saying rap album, because that was his first song he did off it, and that was nuts for me.
Yeah, that's pretty fire. Right when he was getting into Just So You Remember, I think it was, he said, best rapper alive, I know who's living. And then the Joker laugh hit, and I was like, oh, Pusha. Like, I don't know about that, but you're making me think it more and more every minute that we're at this show. Like, wow, it was just an impressive show from Push. He killed it. I think arguably the craziest part of the set, though, for like crowd would be when he went to all the features. When he did
That
Mercy,
yeah,
Move That Dope, Don't Like, Runaway. Oh, those are the ones where like everybody's gonna know them. Like obviously, if you're at the, it's different than at a festival. If you're at the Pusha T show, you're probably gonna know most of his catalog, especially because this stuff's like fairly new. But yeah, those hits are just like, whew, huge. So that was
yeah. No,
wild.
I knew it was gonna happen, obviously, because I'd seen videos of it. But the Runaway, where it's just the whole crowd singing. He really doesn't even sing. He does his part, but that was just a vibe.
Yeah, Runaway. I mean, that's one of my favorite songs of all time. So never seen Pusha T do it live. Obviously, got to see Kanye do it, which is cool. But Pusha T's verse is like great. One of my favorite verses of all time. So that was super cool. There were a couple songs that like I didn't expect him to get into. One specifically was Open Air. Like I like
I
Open
love
Air,
open air.
but I was just surprised. Like it didn't seem like a song he would do live, but he killed it.
I love the Scarface references that he had. I mean, not every song, obviously, big coke rapper, but the ain't no Tonys in the circle, we Sosas here. That's a bar.
My favorite line that like I really appreciate more and more every time I hear it when he says cocaine's Dr. Seuss. Like, I just love that. And like, obviously I caught it like the first couple listens, but like hearing him say it in person, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That's the one. But yeah, it was super cool. One of the favorite moments, we've talked about this, was when he was getting into, I forget what song it was. Was it rock and roll? I think maybe. And he said, "I don't do fans, I do family." That was
Yeah.
hard. That is a great quote, great like mantra to live by, I guess. But yeah, shout out to Pusha T.
Yeah, no, I was expecting a good performance, but he is. I gotta put him top three out of the everybody I've seen. I think I don't want to spoil. I feel like that'd be a good video if we could have sometime. Is going over our best live performances we've seen, but there are
It'd be
three that
impossible.
really stand out to me.
I have too many that stand out. Like, we won't get into it. We'll get into it another day, but
Yeah,
that'll be a good episode when we get into that, because I've seen some people that I had been waiting to see for so long. And Pusha T, I will say, was not really one of them. Like, but he just delivered.
yeah, no, he killed it.
All right. Kind of tough to talk about both of these because we weren't at them together, you know? So I think it's time to get into Lyrical Lemonade 9th anniversary concert, an event that we went to together. It was an interesting night. It was a pretty good time. Let's talk about our thoughts. First, let's talk about the lineup that was there that night. We'll say beforehand, this lineup was not released. It was
Yeah,
all
this
just
was
surprise guests. So the night gets started. Glove Jake from the Lyrical Lemonades DJing. Cool. He says there's gonna be 7 surprise guests. We're like, all right, cool. That's a pretty good number. And then he gets a little worried. He's like, wait, I just heard it's gonna be 15. And we're like, okay, 15 is a lot of people. So the event starts at 10 o'clock at night, which is, that's fine. That's whatever. Spoiler alert, it finished at 1 in the morning, which kind of tough because it's in Chicago, which is like over a 2-hour drive. We got home like 3:30 in the morning. You got home at 4. So tough, but let's talk about everybody that performed. First, we got to start off with Hurt Everybody, Chicago group, some legends, Superboy. I rock with him. Saw him outside the venue, said Super.
yeah,
And he gave me a little head nod style. That was cool. Then you get into Warhol, Chicago legend, C. Dot Honcho, Chicago legend. Katie got banned, Chicago legend. But these people, I don't really listen to their music that much. Like, I listen to Superboy's solo stuff more than Hurt Everybody. Hurt Everybody was like a little bit before my time, before I was like really getting into stuff like that. So I definitely need to go back because I do enjoy everything I've heard from them. That's actually my second time I've seen them live. I do like what I've seen both times, but haven't done that deep dive into their catalog. But they broke up a couple years ago, so cool to see them get back together for a couple shows. Then it starts to get a little bit bigger, a little bit more random throughout the night. The first random person of the night is Jaleel. What were
no.
your thoughts on Jaleel?
So I had seen him in Miami, and he just has a like. If you've seen Jaleel live or like seen some of the viral videos that he has, he is just he's nuts up there, man, doing backflips and shit, just running and doing front flips. Like it's nuts. That's an athletic guy.
Oh yeah, he is crazy swole. It's wild. The only word to describe Jaleel's performance is energy. He brought
Yeah,
the energy. He comes out, he rips the shirt, he's doing front flips, he's doing back flips, like you said. And he's got these songs that are mega popular. And especially with that crowd was not appreciating Hurt Everybody and people like that early on. They just weren't there for them. They were there for, the people that we get to a little bit later. They were there for that big name. They were there for the Lyrical Lemonade hype, which is fine. But yeah, they just didn't appreciate some of the people that, I thought deserved it. But Jaleel, his energy, that did get the crowd fired up, and
yeah,
that
that
earned him
was
some respect from me for sure. Next performer, we have Landon Cube. Cole Bennett came out and said Lil Skies was supposed to be there, but he was unfortunately sick. So that was tough. Would have loved to see Red Roses and Nowadays with both of those two live. I don't know how many times they've done those together before, but would have been great to see because those are like iconic
yeah.
songs from the past couple years
I
too.
want to see Skies so bad too. So that was devastating to hear, but Landon Cube still did pretty solid. So
Yeah, I like Skies. I've seen Skies at the Lyrical Lemonade Summer Smash in 2018, I think. So that was cool. But yeah, I got love for Landon because I've told the story, I think, on the podcast. If not, I'll say it again either way. But I found out about those guys through Cuff Boys, Cam Haller, the YouTube channel, and Landon was working with Skies on Red Roses, so that he was in some vlogs here and there. And then when Red Roses dropped, I was in on it. But I had been watching Landon for years before that, a year or two or whatever, just in these vlogs. I was like, oh, Landon's cool. I liked his music. I listened to his music on SoundCloud. So it was just really cool to see Landon because I'd never seen Landon perform before. But
Yeah, that would have been one, like we say at these, festivals or events, like somebody you never go see on their own when they come out of school. So
yeah, especially because like I will say that is like a little bit, I don't want to sound bad like that because I would go see Landon. But like, when it's a 2-hour drive, probably either way, it's like,
yeah,
that makes it tough. But if we were in Chicago, in Indianapolis, I'd be seeing way more random people.
yeah, no, big difference there for that.
Yeah, you got to put that travel in, which makes it tough. All right. This next person is where the night starts getting a little bit wild for you.
This took a turn for the worse for me.
We have Babytron. I love Babytron. You love Babytron.
We love Babytron, yeah.
Yes. But the crowd.
I've never
talk to me about the crowd at Babytron.
I've never had an experience. It still like angers me. Like I can still sit here and just get fucking pissed about it. So, the biggest L of the night was there was like an upper level, and it would have been just so fire just to sit there, because I mean you don't really mosh. My body was exhausted. They had it was reserved for people, so whatever. But then we found a good spot. I wore nicer shoes because I was like, I'm not gonna go mosh or anything. And then, like you said, Babytron came on, and oh man. So this girl, I've never seen anything like this at a concert. I've seen, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Travis Scott, huge artists. Kanye as a guest, I feel like there are those people, but I've never personally haven't.
I have not
like,
either.
Like just screaming, like, like crying, like breaking down, crying, basically. Like,
and it was for Babytron. I love Babytron, but seeing somebody like lose their mind for Babytron, unbelievable. She had the most annoying high pitched voice, and she was just like screaming in our ears, Babytron, and she's rapping every word. And I'm like, I like Babytron. I don't know his lyrics like that. She knew the lyrics. I'll give it to her. She was a big fan of Babytron, but man, she really started to ruin the night for us.
This bitch is just go. And then, I mean, along with just fucking yelling right in my fucking ear, she's trying to like mosh up there too. Like nobody else is moshing. Everybody's just, it's like a chill little vibe right there. Everybody else had the same mindset, and these fucking idiots pushed through and just ruined that. So I backed out. I was like, I'm going. I can't fucking do this.
Yeah.
I was literally, I've never been closer to hitting a woman in my life.
27 days, 27 nights. Yeah. Man, it was crazy. She was so pushy. That's what I didn't like. I feel like they needed the balcony. It was for VIPs. Obviously, with that many surprise guests, there's going to be a lot of like family and friends and whatever. So they're going to need the balcony to accommodate that many guests. But you also got to have a balcony to accommodate people that aren't trying to do all this like us. That's what I guess the back area was going to be for. I know that's what it was going to be for. But then you just have some people that, don't understand how concerts work. They don't understand social cues. They don't understand that you need to show up a little bit earlier if you're trying to get to the front. They don't understand that you can't just push your way to the front. Some dude tried to push me, and I was like, I said, what are you doing? I was like, we're not in a pushing area. Like, we're just trying to enjoy the show. You had your Yeezys on. We were not doing all that. I was in a sweatshirt. I'm not trying to sweat. Like, I was trying to enjoy the show. But yeah, whatever. This girl, she went too crazy.
That's gotta be like hands down the worst person I've ever just been around. Like in just moments in life, playing sports here and there, you deal with some shitty people. But
I agree. No, she was like
that.
I won't say in life, but at a show, no question, the worst person I've ever encountered.
When we do the video on like ranking people's mosh pits or like crowds, she's the top tier. We'll figure out a name and make her a tier over S, because
for how pushable she is, or how bad
Yeah,
shoes.
I just both. I mean, everything
Okay,
about her.
valid,
Like,
valid, valid. Yeah, she was the worst, by far the worst person I've encountered. Uh, so next person we have up is Smoke Perp. Did you were we were together for Smoke Perp, and then
yeah,
the next
that's
person
I
too, right?
went for smoke per. I left then.
Okay, so Smoke Perp, next person. Cole Bennett comes out, prefaces his appearance by saying, let's go back to 2018, show this person respect. We're going to show everybody respect tonight. Obviously, Smoke Perp has had some events with not the best turnouts. He gets some hate on the internet, especially these days. But I will say, he did
It's
his
all right.
thing.
Yeah.
He did his thing. He did Audi. He did a couple of his tracks. Uh, but it all went downhill when a fan threw a water bottle, an open water bottle, at
Oh,
Smoke Perp. And my man threw a couple punches. He was looking like Draymond. He had a friend, bodyguard, whatever he was. He threw a couple punches. It was wild. I don't think that fan got pulled out. I think the night just went on after a couple punches were thrown. And that was kind of surprising, but I was fine with it.
yeah. It was an interesting scene there for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a good example of like this is real life and not the internet. Like
Yeah.
there are kids on the internet that just say out of pocket stuff about Smoke Perp and many other rappers, but we're talking about him. That struck me as a kid that like is probably tweeting like, this new Smoke Perp track is mid, Smoke Perp is ass, whatever.
Mhm.
And then he tries to be funny in real life, like he is on the internet. He gets 20 likes on a tweet on Twitter. He thinks he's hot shit. Then in real life, he tries to be funny, and then he sees that there's consequences. And I don't think he's gonna be acting like that again. So it was kind of
Yeah,
nice.
no, that was nuts. I've never seen anything like that. So
No, I haven't seen punches thrown from an artist to a fan, so that was kind of wild. Let's move on. Next person.
while
We
he's
got,
performing too,
yeah, it wasn't like it was over. It was wild. Next
nobody
person.
did anything. That was another like nothing came of this.
No, like it just seemed like it was just normal. Like the night just went on. I was like, all right. I thought it was be a whole thing. I really did. I was like, wow. People
Yeah,
are gonna be pissed. Cole Benz to be like, nah, none of that, whatever. Just acted like it just happens. Like that's just something that you can expect to see. I've never seen it, so maybe I'm just at the wrong shows. Next person we got Made in Tokyo. This is a perfect example of somebody I would not probably go to their individual show, but cool to see him. Like he played his hits, Uber everywhere, Ned Flanders, whatever. He did his thing.
definitely. That is a prime example of somebody I would never go see.
Yeah. He strikes me as like a, afternoon festival person. Like you might catch him and that'd be fine. But this is, another good place too. It was a short set. Everybody here only had a couple songs. Made in Tokyo had 10 minutes and he did 3 songs. So yeah, pretty decent. What was that? He did Uber Everywhere, uh, Ned Flander, and what was the other song?
That's
Oh,
actually
Skateboard P.
yeah. So Made in Tokyo was where I moved back.
Yep. That's what I thought. So yeah, this is where our night
I
just
kind of
goes different
yeah, I kind of
directions.
missed a little bit of his performance after that.
Yeah. And it just sucks because like you went towards the back. I stayed. I had the internal conflict like, am I going to stay with you or am I going to stay
Yeah,
where
no,
I'm at? And I didn't know what to do. I just stayed because I was comfortable where I was at. Besides the dumbass behind us, whatever. All right, let's move on though. Next person, we got Cochise. I don't listen to his music, but he was pretty good. He got the
he was
crowd right.
solid.
Yeah, he was solid. Not much to say about him. Here's where it gets wild though.
Herbert Winslow.
G Herbo, Lil Herb for the OGs out there. Um, but before G Herbo comes out, we got to talk about one of the wildest moments of the night. Cole Bennett comes on stage. For those of you that follow Lyrical Lemonade, for those of you who follow, sneakers, Lyrical Lemonade just dropped a collab with Nike, Air Force One. Super cool shoe. We both tried to get them. We did not. We had conspiracies that they were going to be available to buy or win or something at that event because it was too close. The release for those was on
Yeah.
Tuesday, and then that show was on Saturday. So it was like, that's kind of weird. Like, I didn't know if they're going to pull an Oprah, like, oh, everybody gets a shoe. That would have been kind of wild, kind of expensive, but you never know. That would have been wishful thinking. But I was thinking, okay, maybe they'll have a stand where you can buy them. That'd be cool too, obviously. But no, the only time this shoe made an appearance all night, Cole Bennett comes on stage. Hey guys, this is the shoe we just dropped. I'm going to throw it in the crowd. I know the lid might go one direction, the box might go one direction. You might get a left shoe, you might get a shoelace, you might get the other shoe. We're just gonna do it. We're just gonna throw it out there. I respect Cole Bennett, love Cole Bennett. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Like
Yeah.
that, have we not learned about like concert safety in the past couple years? He throws this new pair of shoes that you could probably resell for, a couple $100 into the crowd and just lets people fight for it like animals. Then to top it all off, as soon as he like let go, G Herbo starts coming out. So there was like no time to process like this fight for these shoes before the crowd starts going crazy again. So besides people pushing and fighting for this pair of shoes, everybody's starting to get like lit for G Herbo. And then, I noticed something. I saw the X's go up. The X's went up a couple times that night, but this time Look at Me was not playing. This was not RIPX. This was emergency. We need help. I have it on video. There is a video of G Herbo coming out and this girl's limp body being lifted above the crowd. I stopped recording like when I noticed her because I was like, I feel bad. This feels like wrong. But yeah, this girl was in bad shape. Like she was in the mix right where this shoe got thrown. The shoes got thrown like 5 to 10 feet from where I was at.
Yeah.
I've made no effort to go get them. There is you would have to throw like something worth way more money or something like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it would take for me to go
idea.
fight like that, but it was not going to be one pair of shoes. That was not worth it. I saw what happened. It was crazy. So yeah, that was probably the wildest part of the night. Not anything surprising us seeing a girl's limp body be lifted out of the crowd because she was in the mix fighting for a pair of shoes.
Yeah, that was just stupid. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, wild. Let's talk about G Herbo. Tied for the longest set of the night, 20-30 minutes. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this decision. Obviously, it's Lyrical Lemonade 9th anniversary. And I got to show respect to a lot of people that made Lyrical Lemonade what it is today. A lot of Chicago legends, obviously. But 20 minutes for G Herbo, 30 minutes for G Herbo.
I was
like a little bit
with
much.
It in Chicago.
In Chicago, I get it. But, when you get to some of these people later, I wish they would have got one more song. Take 2 songs away from G Herbo, add one here, add one there. But I get it. I get the decision. I like G Herbo. That's the second time I've seen him. I saw him with Juice WRLD in Bloomington, but I just don't listen to his music that much. So it's like, I just felt like I was kind of just like chilling, like vibing, which is fine. But I just really enjoyed when we get to some of the people that I like love their music.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about Landon early on because I love Red Roses and Nowadays. So like going from Jaleel to him was great because, I know Jaleel can respect the energy, but I don't know the words to his songs besides like the TikTok snippets. Whereas I got all the verses, all the choruses to the Skies and Landon songs. So yeah, G Herbo, it was cool, but don't know that much of music. Next person. This person, arguably one of the best performers of the night. Waka Flocka Flame.
This is my favorite performance of the night. And I mean, he used his 3 tracks perfectly.
He did. He's got the hits. Like he has some songs that will get the crowd moving, get the crowd right.
When did No Hands come out? Was that like what, 2011, probably 2010, 2011?
I think earlier. I was say 2009.
Let me get a date on this because I'll have a funny story for you.
I remember I was in 6th grade and it was out, which is wild.
No, that I was not in second. I was in 3rd or 4th grade.
It came out in 2010.
2010. Let's see when that album.
That's when the album came out, Flockavelli. So it might come out single in 2009.
Let's see. Let me see the release. Let me look up the release date for this because
No Hands dropped 2010, September 6th.
Okay, so yeah, so I would have been 9 years old. So in 3rd or 4th grade. But so he played No Hands, of course. What did you do after No Hands?
He did Grove Street Party.
No, he did one in between. I'm blanking on it right now.
He did Hard in the Paint.
Hard in the Paint, yeah, which is But I was texting, I was like, he's got to do Grove Street Party. But like back in the day, this was like one of the songs I had saved on my iPod in like 3rd or 4th grade, like listening to fucking Grove Street Party.
That's pretty wild. One of my iconic ones is Hard in the Paint. Like I remember iTunes used to have sales. Songs were typically $1.29. They'd have songs on sale for like 69 cents at times. So I would be stocking up on those. Like I didn't really care who it was. I just wanted songs.
Mhm.
And so I remember getting Hard in the Paint at 69 cents on sale in probably like seventh grade, sixth grade, whatever, going crazy with it. So yeah, I got a special place for that song. And so I'm really glad he's performed it. It was kind of wild because I was talking to my friend Levi at the Pusha T show about some different concerts we saw during college and stuff. He saw Waka Flocka Flame and B.O.B., I think he said, in
Ooh.
Bloomington at Illinois Wesleyan. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to go. Like, I don't know why I didn't go, but I just did not go. And he told me it was a really good show. So very wild that it came full circle like 3 days later and I
Mhm.
did get to
Yeah.
some of my favorite tracks from him.
Waka Flocka. He was good. I really enjoyed that they brought him out.
Yeah. I don't know what the Lyrical Lemonade tie is there, but I loved it. All right. Next person. One of the most iconic rap videos of the past couple years, not music videos, but just moments from concerts or whatever, is Lil Yachty's walkout at Summer
Mhm.
Smash Festival. People eat that entrance up. It's very good, but people kind of hype it up a little bit much.
Yeah.
But seeing him come out to that in real life,
It was lit.
it wasn't the same, but it was very good at the same time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Yachty. That was someone who I thought probably could make an appearance, and I'm glad they did, or he did. Had never seen Yachty, so and he's like blowing up right now with the whole Poland shit. So it was good timing with that.
Yeah, we'll touch on Poland a little bit later. I had the chance to see Yachty back in 2016, peak Yachty in Bloomington. That was wild. I was in the front row, second row the whole time. Uh, good show. My biggest takeaway from Yachty on Saturday was this. This whole time, I thought Yachty was straight edge. I thought Yachty did not drink, smoke, do drugs, none of that. I saw him with a double cup in his hand, and I was like, okay, like, that could just be Yachty being funny, whatever. He's doing his thing. Then he goes over the side, and he grabs a Sprite bottle, purple liquid inside. I'm
Dirty
like,
Sprite. Yeah, it wasn't your.
okay, whatever, Yachty. And then he's just sipping the walk on
Yeah.
stage. I thought Yachty was clean. I didn't know Yachty was doing that. I thought he was just straight edge. I thought that's why he had all these commercials with Sprite, with Target, whatever.
Maybe he was just promoting Sprite.
Maybe he's promoting Poland before it was gonna drop. He knew, but yeah, it was crazy. It's wild that he has the Sprite bottle with the label on it, sponsored by Sprite, but it is not
Always got to show
lemon
love.
lime soda in that cup. But yeah, Yachty did his thing. He had an equal set to G Herbo with length, 20, 30 minutes. Pretty good set. Like, he played the hits, so it was cool.
Yeah. It was somebody definitely wanted to see, so I'm glad he was able to make it.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like a pretty good length. Like, you're going to get most of the songs you'd want to see from
Yeah.
him. So it was cool. Got two people left. If you know me, if you tuned into the very first episode, our favorite artist of all time, I got love for Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper, our next surprise guest. I knew Chance was coming out for like
Yeah. You
45
texted me
minutes
early. Yeah.
because I saw DJ Oreo on stage and that's
Mhm.
Chance's DJ. So I was like, all right, it's going to happen. And then Chance was on stage for like
A
20 minutes
while.
at least before he came out, which really took away the surprise. But yeah, I was like, okay, I was excited because it's been a long time since I've seen Chance. I saw Chance 4 times in under a year. And that was the last time I saw him was Lollapalooza 2017, I think. So it's been a while. But yeah, good to see him. He only did 2 songs. He did No Problem. He did Highs and the Lows, which new track. Kind of chill track. So the crowd, I don't know if they were loving it. I feel like they weren't even giving Chance the respect on his verses of No Problem that he deserved.
Yeah.
But they got pretty hyped for the chorus.
I
So
I really enjoyed it. So I mean,
yeah, it was a good show. I just hope we get that album from Chance soon, and maybe we'll be seeing him on tour again.
definitely. I love highs and lows, and watching that live is a W. So
It was pretty cool. Then we finally got the last performer of the night. There's a lot of questions here still about who it could be. The whole time I was hoping for Lucky, but then you get to a point where you're like, all right, these people were too big. It's not going to be Lucky.
yeah.
But then, you hold that hope for somebody like Lil Durk even. You're like, all right, it could be Lil Durk still, possibly. Then Cole Bennett comes on stage and says, all right, it's our last performer of the night. He's from Louisville, Kentucky. And you're like, Okay, it's Jack, which we kind of known was going to happen because it was leaked that not leaked, but it was known that
It was
Jack Harlow was
speculated. Yeah.
performing a concert in Chicago that night. You know how close he is with Cole Bennett, so it's kind of like, all right, it's going to happen. But I don't want to say it was disappointing when he came out, but it was 12:55 in the morning. He comes out, he only does what's popping. There's like some audio issues. People were already starting to leave. Like
This
it was
really
a
just
weird vibe.
it really just confirmed my take that Jack Harlow is ass live.
I've heard some bad things about even like his individual shows,
Mm-hmm.
so that's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah, it was. I was ready for the night to be over. Chance would have been good.
I agree, but I really like Jack. Like I like some of his music. I don't love his new album, but I like songs obviously. So it was cool to see him. But yeah, I don't know. It just kind of anticlimactic. Like obviously Jack is a star, one of the biggest artists out. It feels like, but I don't know. It just didn't feel like the best ending to the night.
Yeah. I mean, what can you do though? I mean, it was still a really good time and everything. So
Oh yeah, great show, cheap tickets. Got to see so many people. I feel like they did a very good job of going through the history of Lyrical Lemonade for the most part. Obviously, some people missing that I would have liked to see, but in general, I mean, obviously for a cheap show, they probably did these performances basically as favors to Cole.
yeah.
So I feel like you got probably the best you could ask for.
No,
Uh,
definitely no complaints.
but I mean, this was only the ninth anniversary, so next year, got to expect a 10th anniversary show, and got to imagine they'll go even bigger on the performances.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be down to run it back.
I think we will have to, as long as we don't end up by that same girl as we were by Babytron.
Yeah. No,
That would be the like most
I'd
like
throw punches.
that would be the most full circle moment if we just go back to the 10th anniversary show and she's right behind us. Babytron comes out, Babytron, she's yelling. Uh, I think we'd have to leave. That'd be the only option.
I'd beat her ass, honestly. I'd take the charge.
Yeah. I mean, as much as like seeing all these great performers was a great moment, my biggest memory of the night is going to be this girl ruining everything for a while. So it's tough. It's a tough memory to have, but it was a great night. So shout out to
Yeah,
Colbert, shout out to Lyrical Lemonade. Great event.
for sure. If you guys been listening, get us some VIP tickets, friends and family next time.
Yeah, we wouldn't have had any issues if we were in the balcony. That's all I'm saying. We talked about this for a while. We could talk about it even more. We'll show you some love on the Instagram, on the YouTube, whatever. We could run a little vlog next time. Talk to some artists if you really want us to.
Yeah, I
Hit the
mean,
DMs and we'll figure it out.
for sure.
All right. We talked about all these shows a lot. Let's get into some news. It's been, you know, 2 weeks, so we have some news here we can touch on.
Nothing
Obviously,
crazy though. Like we were talking about this before. Like there's stuff, but it's like not as much as we thought it would be. So
yeah, notice I said some news. I didn't say there's so much news. There's some news. But obviously there's always gonna be releases, so we'll start with that. Last week we had, a pretty good week for albums. This was the night that I was driving back from St. Louis from the Pusha T and IDK show. So I had a couple projects I could listen to, so that was cool. A couple things I could listen to. We had albums from Freddie Gibbs, Kid Cudi, Tory Lanez, Kenny Mason, Denzel Curry with a Melt My Eyes See Your Future Deluxe, Blade, Nick Craven, and Boldy James. Then we had some singles from Smino and J. Cole, Trippie Redd, Kodak Black, Mavi. Pretty good week, I would say. Did you have a favorite from this bunch?
Soul sold separately. I think that's a front runner there to be the favorite, of course. But Freddie absolutely killed it. I mean, we're throwing this around. We throw this around here sometimes. This man don't miss though. He has a really underrated discography. I was looking back
Oh
on
yeah.
it. Like I feel like he's not, like this huge A-list, rapper, but the quality that he has out it's insane. And I mean, this
Oh,
just adds to it.
one of the most consistent, high quality artists you can have today. But it still does shock me, like you said, like he's not that big in the public eye, I don't think.
I wouldn't even, I wouldn't even say he's probably, I feel like there's kind of like tiers. He's probably in the C tier somewhere. I mean,
For public image,
yeah.
yeah, I would agree. Like it was wild, like seeing him at the Brooklyn Nets game. Like
Mhm.
they tweeted him out. I think he was on the big screen. I was like, in this arena of whatever 20,000 people, how many people know who Freddie Gibbs is? Like I don't know. Obviously, we have a different like lens on everything because we're from small town Illinois. People here, like, I mean, we're talking like 3% of people here would know who Freddie Gibbs is.
Yeah. Like,
So it's like,
They'd know
That's
knowing the
wild.
name and then like actually listening to is I mean that cut your percentage at least in half.
Oh
So
yeah, those are definitely different. So like a bigger city, obviously, I feel like he's probably more well known, but still, I don't know what the numbers at. So kind of crazy to see. But he came through with a great album. Kenny Mason though, loved his project. Been listening to that like crazy. And then Denzel, Melt My Eyes was a great album, but the deluxe, he did
just as
his
good,
thing
yeah.
on this one,
Just
just as
carried a
good. The instrumentals, the remixes, oh, those were crazy. Couple new tracks too. Just all in all, great night for the releases. Then this
definitely.
week, we had some projects from Quavo and Takeoff, NBA YoungBoy, G Herbo, Gene Dawson, Willow, and then singles from A Boogie featuring Roddy Rich, Gucci Mane, Ty Dolla Sign and Mustard featuring Lil Durk, Open Mike Eagle, and more. Pretty good week. My favorite was definitely the Gene Dawson album.
Yeah, so that one got like just a playthrough. I wasn't really able to listen in depth, but Quavo and Takeoff, I thought they killed it. I was a little nervous, without Offset on there, first project without him, and then Culture 3, I felt like just didn't really, it wasn't too crazy, but I really enjoyed this. Did you give it a chance yet?
I have not given a listen yet. I will give it a listen though. So you listened to the Gene Dawson album, you said. Do you remember the song with Earl?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you ever watch Dave, Lil Dicky show?
No.
Okay, so there's an episode where he's singing this song with slash about his girlfriend, and that song reminds me so much of the Earl Sweatshirt verse on that song. Like it's like a slower type, different style than we've seen from Earl, and it gave me that vibe. I don't know if that's crazy. I'll have to send you the clip and you can
Yeah,
let me
I'll
know what you think. And if anybody's seen that, let me know in the comments. Let me know if I'm crazy or if that sounds right. But yeah, I thought it was a good song. So not taking anything away from Earl's verse. Great album, I thought. I really enjoyed it. Listened to it like 4 times before I went to sleep on Friday because I was doing some work until like 3 in the morning. So it was a shorter album. But yeah, obviously you kind of alluded to it earlier, but probably the biggest release of the week isn't even on Spotify, isn't on Apple Music. It's Poland by Lil Yachty.
yeah, it is. It's going crazy right now.
Yeah. So at the time we're recording it, it's up to 4.3 million views or plays on SoundCloud in 4 days. So over a million plays a day on SoundCloud, which isn't even like the SoundCloud that it once was, where you could,
Yeah,
run it up. Like 4 million in 4 days is crazy on there.
nuts. Yeah, the social media influence obviously helps. So,
Yeah.
are you vibing with the track though?
I love this track. Like, I don't even know what it is, but it is just great. Like, it's such a unique style from Yachty, but I love it. Like, if it was on Spotify, oh, I'd be going crazy
I
with
feel
it.
like Yachty could have like a. I feel like he hasn't fallen off. I feel like he could have a
No,
really big resurgence.
I agree. I think this is just the start. Like, I don't know if this would be it, but I saw somebody on, I think it was TikTok or Twitter. They were like, I miss the days of remixes. Like, they wanted a UOENO remix of this, basically, like where people are just hopping on, hopping
Yeah,
on, hopping on. That'd be wild because UOENO was crazy. I remember there was one remix on YouTube and it kind of just put together all like there was a Future, a Rick Ross, Wiz Khalifa, I think, a whole bunch more. Um, but they put all those into one song and it was like 7 or 8 minutes. And oh my God, I was listening to that all the time. It was a crazy song. And I feel like we haven't had a track like that in a minute where people are just hopping on the remixes like crazy. But hey, Poland's running it up. So maybe this will be it. But I
yeah,
kind of feel like it'll be a different song that'll have that moment. But I think it'll
definitely.
happen in the next year or two. Like I want that big song that just keeps getting new lives every couple months, every couple weeks off these remixes. But yeah, crazy song. Then talk about Lyrical Lemonade a lot today, but seems like we're gonna get that Lyrical Lemonade boost again on Poland. Cole Bennett's out here shooting the video for it in New York City. It looked like we'll see. We'll see. I think it could do some numbers. Could be one of the hottest videos on Lyrical Lemonade in the first 24 hours or whatever. Wouldn't be surprised just because of how
Yeah,
crazy viral this song is going right now.
I think it'll blow. So we'll have to see what happens. And
We'll
I
have
mean,
to.
they don't really miss, so they don't miss in the videos.
That he always does his thing. All right, next news here. We talked about Kid Cudi dropping his album. It was technically the soundtrack to Intergalactic, but then he said it was an album. Don't call it a soundtrack. Don't know. I feel like there's some weight to, if you say it's an album, you have a certain level of expectation. But if you say it's a soundtrack, it's like, okay, not to say it's like a throwaway, but it's like, people aren't gonna like judge your career so strongly based off that. But hey, he said it was an album, so got to include it in the discography now, I guess. It was a solid project, though. It wasn't anything too crazy. But in an interview, Kid Cudi kind of did say that the chapter Kid Cudi is going to be closing. Obviously,
Yeah,
you
I mean,
have had some run-ins with Cudi in the past couple of months.
His meal ticket's gone, so I mean, he's done. Of course, his meal ticket.
All right,
Kanye.
all right.
I'm just saying, and I've always thought this, and this just really confirmed it in Miami. Kid Cudi is very overrated.
Wow.
I think because people, what he did with Man on the Moon, yes, I respect that. But since the second Man on the Moon, I feel like his discography is not very good. I don't know.
I don't know. I think,
and like people act like he is a high B tier, damn near A. Like I don't know.
I think he is. Like I think he's had, even like on projects that might not have done as well, he's always had the hit songs. He's always been featured on hit songs. Yeah, I think the Man on the Moon trilogy is very good. I think Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying is pretty good.
And
I think even
there's good tracks on those. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not good tracks on those, but I just feel like overall as a discography, without those two Man on the Moons, what project does he have that is a great project?
I get that. Obviously, I'm going to assume you're not going to include Kitsy Ghost when you're talking about that, because that obviously is a good bump for him too.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the meal ticket.
Okay. I feel like, but there has been a resurgence. Like I feel like there was a minute there where Kid Cudi was like hated, like especially like Speed and Bullet to Heaven. Mm-hmm. Like that's one of the most infamous needle drop videos where he's just shitting on that album for 10 minutes or whatever. But then yeah, you got the comeback. I feel like with Kitsy Ghost, with Man on the Moon 3. Yeah, I feel like he was getting really, really loved in the public eye again. So yeah, I don't know. I got love for Kid Cudi's music in general, I would say. So kind of tough to see. Obviously, I know that you may not feel the same.
I've doubled down, on my. Sometimes I'll even get a Kid Cudi feature I removed from my playlist. So
wow, that's crazy. That's a little bit much.
I don't know what still bothers me about it is there's ways to go about it, and he was just a complete dickhead about it.
Yeah, obviously I wasn't there. Obviously, I haven't had an experience like that with an artist, so I can't, say how I would react. But I don't think it'd be the same. I think I can separate the event from the music, but who knows? Let's move on though. Next news: Steve Lacy's song "Bad Habits" hits #1. I love this track. W. I love this track. Huge. This has been the year of Steve Lacy.
Definitely. I saw they just did the vinyl as well. So that'll bump the album sales. But yeah, huge W there. Finally passing Harry Styles, and then obviously, like you said, the year of Steve Lacy. So
yeah, I love Steve Lacy. I feel like we do have to do like some awards at the end of the year. We're talking like most improved player. I think Steve Lacy's got a shot because he is run it up this year.
Definitely. We'll get into that later.
Oh yeah,
a couple months here. So
it's not a Second Avenue podcast episode if we don't talk about Kanye West. Oh, I guess we just said his name talking about Kid Cudi, but I don't think we really said his name much before. Kanye back on Twitter, back on Instagram. I think he just got banned on Twitter.
Yeah, from what I'm
seeing. On both. Okay. Announced his presidential campaign for 2024. He was saying some really like weird, bad stuff about Jewish people. He was going to pop off on them. I don't know what that meant. He got banned, so I think we're not going to know for a while. Obviously, he had the White Lives Matter shirt. It's been a week for Kanye West. It's been a bad week to be a Kanye West fan. Done a lot of stuff that I don't agree with.
I don't want to get into it too much just because it's just like it's clear, even more now than ever. He needs help.
Yeah, he's definitely going a little crazy. Bradley from Hive Mind had the tweet where he said, this is like the ultimate test of separating the art from the artist. And I was like, Yeah, that's right. Like I love
It's
Kanye's
becoming
music.
harder and harder to double down and defend this man every day.
It
I'm still
really is.
doing it.
I will not. There are many things he has done
No.
that I cannot defend. But yeah, a couple this week. So yeah, crazy week. Do a Google search, do a Twitter search,
Yeah.
and you can see. Next news though, Rihanna is going to be headlining the Super Bowl.
I would love to have seen Taylor Swift. That was getting a lot of hate when it was speculated that she was going to be, and then obviously it's Rihanna now. So which track are you most excited to see?
Ooh. Oh, I don't know. That's a tough one. I think I'd have to go with, I don't know why, but Diamonds is the one that comes to mind
Diamonds, yeah.
immediately.
I feel
Uh
like you could have a really good like stay. They could just do a lot with that. Like with we'll
yeah,
see.
I feel
They'll
like it could
kill
be
it. Obviously.
dark and there'd be lights. I feel like it'd be really cool. The other one that comes to mind is Needed Me off Anti. I love Needed Me. Uh so I could see that one.
I absolutely need Disturbia.
Ooh, that could be wild. I like
That
that song.
that'd be one where I could see her doing it. I could also not. So
I think I would lean she won't do it, but I would be very happy if she did.
Umbrella would be another one that
She has to do Umbrella. I think there's a lot of speculation right now about who she could bring out as surprise guests as well. Though, do you have any thoughts on that? Obviously, there's some talk with Kanye that even her, Paul McCartney and Kanye could do only one or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be down for that.
I'd like to see Jay-Z. I mean, I feel like that's not really out of the question.
That's what I was thinking when you started to talk about Umbrella. I was like, okay, I can see Hove. Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a good one. I feel like we're on a pretty good run for Super Bowl performances recently with The Weeknd. And then who was last year?
50 Cent, Dr. Dre.
Oh yeah, 50 Cent,
Eminem,
Kendrick, everybody. So
yeah, they've really like.
Yeah, I knew we had a big one last year, but I just could not remember for whatever reason.
Yeah, no, I really like the direction they're going with it because I mean, especially last year where they more rap focused, so that went crazy.
Yeah, that was cool. That was in LA. It felt right. So excited to see how Rihanna does. Moving on though, next news: Offset's solo album is going to be releasing on November 11th.
I'm curious to hear it.
Expectations?
I don't know where I'd put my expectations at. I think he'll be good though. I want them all to come back together. Obviously, I don't think that's happening with the quality control and Offset issues that are on hand right now. So, but I mean, regardless, there's going to be some slappers there.
Yeah, excited to see it. Got love for Offset, so expect some good things from that project. Another project that dropped, fairly recently. I think we talked about it when it dropped a little bit, but not much.
Not the sales, yeah.
Not the sales. So now we're going to touch on the sales. Baby on Baby 2 by DaBaby. 18K first week.
The Baby's fall off's been something. He didn't show up at Rolling Loud, which he always just is doing something that is just not gaining him any more fans. They're probably losing him fans.
Yeah.
So kind of nuts to see, but
yeah, we've kind of touched on like sales numbers throughout the year, and there are some of our favorite albums this year, whether it be Denzel Curry or Vince Staples. But even like a fallen off DaBaby is doing the same numbers as them now, which is crazy to see. Like DaBaby, even he was doing huge numbers.
Yeah,
but I mean, even with a fall off, if that's what you want to say, he's still gonna have a career in rap. Like
exactly,
he's still gonna be able to do his thing. So kind of crazy. All right. Last news though, Travis Scott performs at Bronny's 18th birthday party. And that kind of led me to think, if you could have any artist perform at your birthday party, who would it be?
I think Travis Scott. I mean, I think it's a very good choice because Drake is up there as well. I don't know. There's so many people I'd want, obviously, but I would be all right with Travis Scott just because I feel like the crowd with that will just be. It just depends on the vibe I'm wanting. If I'm wanting something lit, I'm picking Travis. If I'm wanting best performance, I'm probably choosing Ye though.
I know that there was a lot of names I was thinking. Drake, Kanye, Kendrick, Baby Keem, Brent Faiyaz. There's some people like The Weeknd. There's so many people that would be, I mean, a dream come true to have perform at your birthday.
Yeah, I mean,
like
any rapper performing.
Yeah, but I think number one would probably be Drake, especially if it's my birthday. He's gonna do What Songs I Want. I think it would be a moment.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd go with Travis, honestly. Just
I respect that pick, though. I mean, Travis is
there's not a wrong
crazy
pick though
live
yet for any
energy.
of these. So
No, yeah.
let's think about it. Have our confirmed answer next week.
Okay, sounds good. I think that's gonna wrap it up, though. I don't know how long this episode went. It kind of feels like it went long.
Yeah, it's decent timing.
All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back next week for the long-awaited rematch of Ox battles. It's going to be a big one. If you have any suggestions for categories for you guys to pick songs for, let us know in the comments on YouTube, DMs at Second Avenue Pod, on Instagram, Twitter, all that. Show some love on the video on YouTube. Like it, subscribe, and follow us on our socials. And we'll see you guys next week. It's going to be a banger.